Welcome to the 17th lessons of UG Academy. Today, we are going to talk about copy and references in Python. If you have experience with programming language such as C++, you should find this lesson pretty simple. Otherwise, it may be a little bit complicated for the concepts. Before introducing copy and reference, I'd like to first introduce the concept of mutable and immutable objects in Python. First, have a look at immutable objects. The three main kinds of immutable objects in Python are first, numerical values, both integers and floats, Boolean value, true and false, and string values. Immutable objects are objects that its internal value that does not contain internal data item that can be changed. Have a look at a very simple example. We assign the number 1 to x, and then we assign x to y, and as we again assign y as 2. Will the value of x be affected? No, because at this point, a new value is created and assigned to y. So it no longer represents the same object as x. Of course, x will not be affected. Now, what are mutable objects? Mutable objects are objects where its internal data items can be changed. They are usually containers for other data items. For example, list, dictionary, and sets. User-defined classes are usually mutable as well, because user-defined classes can contain attributes defined by the user. So, how is the mutable object different from immutable objects? Let me illustrate with this example. First, we will assign the list 1, 2, 3 to x. And then we assign x to y. And then we assign 4 as the first element of y. Will x be affected? Let's have a look. Yes, x is affected. X is not originally 1, 2, 3, but now changed to 4, 2, 3 after this operation on y. Why? Because at this point, x and y both represent the same objects, and they are just two different names for the exactly same object. Therefore, when we change the value within y, the object that x represents also get changed, and therefore x is also affected. So let's see another example. In this case, instead of assigning y0 as 4, we assign 4, 5, 6 another list to y. This time, x is not affected, because at this line, we are not changing the internal data items of y. We create a new list and then assign it to y. Therefore, x and y are no longer the same name. Are no longer two different names for the same objects. They now represent two different objects, and therefore x is not affected. And this line also illustrates how mutable objects can sometimes cause problems, because you may accidentally change two variables at once, when the two variables are actually the same object within the memory of the computer. How to avoid this problem? Here comes the copy and deepcopy function from the standard copy module. Copy is a standard module within Python, so you don't have to install it through third-party libraries or tools. And then it contains two useful functions, the first one being copy and the second one being deepcopy. We will first talk about the copy function here. Let's have a look at this example. Here, we are basically doing the same thing as here. However, instead of directly assigning x to y, we pass the x into the copy function to generate a copy of x, and then we assign it to y. Everything else the same. So you can see the difference here. This time, after generating this copy, x is not affected because x and y are no longer two different names for the same object, which in this case is true. And in this case, we create a copy of this list 1, 2, 3. And the content of x and y here are although the same, they represent two different objects within the computer memory. Therefore, changing the internal data items of y would not affect x. Now, let's have a look at another example. This example is similar with the example. However, now x becomes a list of lists. It contains a hierarchy of data structure. The first items of the list x is no longer a single integer. Instead, it is another list containing two integers. Similarly, we use the copy function to create a copy of x and then assign it to y. Then, we change the first data items of the first data items of y, which in this case is this one. The first data item of the first data item, okay? To 4. Let's see if x will be affected. As you can see, this time x is again affected. What is going on? We've already created a copy of x here. And x and y should represent two different objects. And here's the problem. Since this is the hierarchy of data structure, and at this point, x is actually containing a reference, or in C sense, a pointer to this list of 1 and 2. And during this copy operation is an operation which we refer as shallow copy. It only copies the first layer data items within x. Therefore, when it creates the copy for y, it copies the value 3 and then copy the reference to the list 1, 2 here. Therefore, the first elements of x and the first elements of y actually refers to the exactly same object within the memory. This is also the problem with shallow copy. It only copies the most shallow layer of data in the data structure hierarchy, but left out the deeper layer. In this case, the another list within this list. To solve this problem, we need to introduce the deepcopy function. The deepcopy function will automatically go through the data hierarchy within the variable x and then copy it entirely, instead of left out the deeper data structure. Using this function, it copies everything, including this list, but not just a reference to this list. And in this case, when we're changing the data items within the list of lists, x will not be affected because the entire thing is copied, not just the most shallow layer. Okay, as you can see, x remains to be 1, 2, 3 after we have modified y. So, this is how copy and deepcopy is used. If you are not sure when to use copy and deepcopy, you can use deepcopy all the time because it is the most safe option and it can ensure everything gets copied. Now, I'm going to talk about an issue with default arguments. It's kind of related to the issue we mentioned here, mutable objects. When we create a default argument for function, if you are not familiar with default arguments, you can have a look at our previous video. In this example, we print the length of A here, and then we change the data items within A by appending an integer 1 to the list. If we call the function 2 times, you may expect to see that it prints out to 0, because if we don't pass anything here in the function, A will take the default argument, which is the empty list. And therefore, the length of A should be 0. Let's have a look at the result. So actually, the result is not 0. Instead, only the first call produces a 0. The second call produces a 1. Why so? This is because throughout the entire program, the default values for the arguments is only initialized once, instead of initializing for every function call. Therefore, when we change the value of a here, it pass on to the next call. If in the next function call we again use the default values, it's now actually a list containing the integer 1, because the value of a is already mutated. If you are not aware of this can cause a lot of problems which can be very hard to find. So what is the solution? I think the best solution is to actually not use mutable as default arguments. Only assign immutable values to default arguments. This will ensure that it do not get changed. Within the function process. If you have to use default argument, if you have to use the mutable objects for default arguments, I recommend you assign the default value as none and use a if else to check if the value is none. If the default value is none, which means that the user did not pass argument to it, then you create a new object within the function and assign to the variable. Okay, that's all for today. In the next video, I'm going to talk about a small project that sums up what we have learned so far. See you next time.